This is my trading journal in Notion. I'm gonna share my entire template with you today. I think I got some cool stuff that helped me level up my trading and my performance. So let me show you my entire workflow, what and how I use everything in the Notion. In case you want my template, go to video description, and once you get a link, all you need to do is to duplicate template on top right corner. First, it might gonna feel overwhelming, but it's actually pretty simple. I don't use every single pages or the databases right here, but basically this is my entire workflow. From Monday to Friday, all I care about is trading session, and I'm mostly focusing on one database or some trading journal if I take some trades. And over the weekend, I pretty much do the rest when it comes to some performance analysis, recap, and the journal review. First thing what I do every single day is clicking right here, which puts me automatically into Forex Factory, where I'm basically checking the news. Second thing what I do is clicking right here on this button, which opens this buys versus the price. I guess I'm quite a bit too lazy to put it this way, but I found that in some cases having the buttons actually makes it much more efficient. I'm gonna show you a few buttons later on. What this does is every single day I basically do some pre-market analysis. If I take some trades, I put it right there, and by the end of the day I basically check if my bias was correct and if I did some mistakes and so on so on. So if we, for instance, clicking on the January, it will put me onto separate weeks. So as you see, I having these labels, how many days I basically traded and how many days were accurate, meaning my bias was basically correct on that particular day. And if we click on individual week, you can see from Monday to Friday, I have some charts. So let's click, for instance, on the Wednesday. And on the Wednesday, I have some plan, and I'm basically sharing some pre and the post sessions. This is actually a really powerful thing because over time you will know where you're basically lacking. If I take some trades, I'm using the trading log or eventually the ultimate journal. So if we click on the trading log, as you can see here, I'm basically tracking all the pairs right here. If I want to, I can filter some specific pair or some, specific long and short, or if I just traded, let's say, the personal account, stuff like that. But because this is quite a bit recurring, what I like to do is I have a separate window that filter the Monday to Friday every single trade, so I can analyze which day was the most profitable and which day was basically the worst one. And also the same thing with the longs and the shorts, and I'm basically seeing where I'm lacking the most. And the ultimate journal, I eventually it's pretty much the same journal like I did in the previous video. I'm gonna leave the video in the description as well. Long story short, this is much more detailed version of the trading journal. And because I'm super lazy to click on this page and then going to the database and adding another trade, what I eventually do is I just click on this button and it automatically prepare my template inside that particular database. So if we put some trade 1, for example, we made 2 trades, so automatically it gives me how much percent I made on that particular account. What I'm having here is really useful because before I take a trade, I open this specific trading journal and I basically need to prepare myself that I have this sort of the zone checklist. As you can see here, it's already right here, so that's pretty handy. And pretty much the same thing if I do adding trading journal right here, just to show you, if we coming back right here, it's already right there. That's pretty much all I do every single day. Sometimes when I'm feeling I am not mentally ready, I like to click on this button, which gave me my daily reminder, basically some sort of mental framework, if you will, which is basically right here. And this is kind of additional button, which is another reminder, so to speak. What we have next is the weekly chart recap. Weekly chart recap is pretty much the market review on the majors, analyzing some potential setup and improvement. This is what I do every single week over the weekend, where I'm basically analyzing some trades. As you can see here, I have another database where I am tracking from Monday to Friday if there was some particular news, how many trades I took. As you can see here, there are 2 trades and I took for risk to reward ratio, and if I click on it, I then eventually having some trade journal. This specific table, it has the custom template, so if I add another week, then it automatically create another template. This is basically my from January to the December, all the weeks combined right here, and I add just some specific tag which I can then track my trades or the weekly recap separately. What I need to do every single week or by the end of the month is VPA, and the MPA stands for weekly performance analysis and the monthly performance analysis. Again, I'm tracking all the weeks, how many trades I took on that particular week, how many wins, how many losses, and also how many trades I missed. As a sort of bonus, let's say I tracking focus, execution, and discipline, because the week obviously having from Monday to Friday, that's 5 days, so maximum point is the 5. So if I was focused entire week, I can have 5 points maximum. And the same with the execution. If I execute some trades, then obviously I got some point, and if I was disciplined enough to follow the plan, then I can add another point, and eventually automatically it sums up all these 3 FED points together, which eventually I can get maximum 15. This is really helpful, at least for me, because if I'm having a quite bit poor performance on that particular week, I look at my FED, and if it's basically low, as you can see here, 0.5% or maybe -1%, I having 10 points. But on my best day, which is probably right here, as you can see, I got 15, and 4% I got 14. I look on these weeks and where I was basically lacking the most, and the correct bias is basically attached to the bias versus the price database. If I had the right bias on the date, that's a 1 point, quite a bit helpful, and again I can track the separate months on this particular thing. The last thing to the VPA is I already, if I add another week, I have another custom template, basically what did I do well, and so on and so on. By the end of the month, I do the monthly performance analysis, which as you can see, that's another database, and this is basically what I'm tracking the most. Again, I have some table and basically my goals, again, what I did good and what I did wrong, and so on and so on. And I can compare basically throughout the year which month was quite a bit good, which month was quite a bit poor. You get a point. One of the things I really like is also the performance goal. So what it does here is tracking from January to December, all 12 months. So let's say if you want to reach 10k a month, you can create another goal and you can track this throughout the year, and if you basically achieve, you can see changing the color and eventually you are accomplished. I'm having backtested template. What I like to do, because every, let's say, backtester is quite a bit different, I'm basically having some setup which I'm adding some variation. If I'm trading, if I'm focusing on maybe trading some imbalance and the momentum type of setup, I'm basically create some specific tag. Annual stats is pretty much where I like to track some sort of finances, basically cost of doing business and total income from the accounts. So if we click on January, as you can see, it has 3 columns, so 3 tables, where I'm basically tracking everything under the one, and it's really handy because all I have to do is I can just fill the forms right here from this particular column. Then what I like a lot is Trader Second Brain. What it does is I'm having basically a database, trading insights, structures, all the basically all trading related thoughts, all the notes right here. It's like a big trading library. And again, because I like the buttons, so if I have something new, then I create basically the new test right here and it adding to my library. Another thing is setup classification. This is really helpful. What I do here is when I take a trade, or if I was quite a bit hesitant, I put all these trading setups right here, and when I have a time, I review those trades based on my trading plan, experience, and so on. I will add some specific class. If it's basically a good setup, then I can add it to my bread and butter trading style or the trading models. Next, we having the winning trades. This is kind of like a playbook type of thing where I'm basically having the gallery best trades that I took. So I use this database pretty much for visualization, and pretty much the same database with the losing trades. Also, what I found quite a bit useful is I'm having a database when it comes to the best trade. So basically, if I just trading and maybe just miss the trades for some specific reason, mostly technical reason, add some charts and some notes, and over the weekend I pretty much review them. In the new strategy, this is pretty much the page where I am adding some thoughts for maybe further testing. I would probably start with this one because I start doing this year and I found it's actually quite a bit useful. I like to highlight three major things that I would love to focus on that particular year. Then I basically split my year into the quarters and what I will be focusing on the next specific weeks. As you can see, I am having 4 quarters and I am having the database for it. If you want to be a little bit more detailed, then you can basically track some progress of this specific task. Let's say I want to be consistent in the trading, so what I need to do, maybe show up daily. So if I want to show up daily and prepare the plan, I can also basically track my progress right here. Traders Insight is more about expressing my thoughts, and or if I found something quite a bit interesting in the market, I put everything in there. The playbook is pretty much the basically collection of the best setups, which is pretty much the symbol of the winning trades. Improvement idea pretty much self-explanatory. Again, pretty much self-explanatory. If I go here, I am having basically my trading checklist. Same with the maybe model setups, and eventually pretty much the same with the trading system. This is my entire Notion template. Like I said, if you want it, I'll leave the link in the description, and happy trading.